while they preach the supremacy of the state.
As of now, I am in control here.
They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
I can't hear you. Louder.
And we'll survive the problems that we face right now.
So help me God.
7 minutes after 3 on K-News Radio. My name is Lee Rayburn. Happy Friday. Welcome to the last broadcast of 2011. Welcome to the show. And imagine my shock and amazement today when we actually get news out of the Coachella Valley. The headline reads, Desert Hot Springs Troubled Flamingo Hotel Deal May Prove Fruitful After All. I thought, well, that's interesting because that's not what I know about that old pink albatross on Pearson Boulevard in Desert Hot Springs. So I read the article, and the article by Kate McGinty in the Desert Sun has absolutely nothing to do with the headline. Because Kate did a pretty good, I enjoyed Kate McGinty's story. I like Kate McGinty's work. After all, Kate McGinty was the one reporter who had the opportunity to ask Mayor Yvonne Parks why she signed all the checks but didn't see all the checks that she signed. Well, that's a question that rears its ugly head yet again today. The city's agreement with Mr. Biscobi. I have the receipt. And yes, I have the check from the city of Desert Hot Springs to Biscobi's company to the tune of $250,000. Right here. Guess whose signature's on it? Yeah, that's right. Yvonne Parks. There it is. She signed the $250,000 dated June 13th, 2008. Now in the story in the Desert Sun today, Rick Daniels wants you to know this happened before he got to town, which blows my mind. Because as I look at the agreement here, it just so happens to have been signed by Rick Daniels. How did he do that? How did he do that? I am flummoxed. He didn't do the deal according to the Desert Sun. The Desert Sun took him at his word, but the signature on the deal happens to be Rick Daniels. I think Mayor Parks forged his signature. That must be what it is, because she's so reluctant to have her signature on anything anymore. Well, I've got the check, $250,000 to a man who either doesn't exist or apparently exists no more. $250,000. And it's got Yvonne Parks' signature on it. Let us let Yvonne Parks explain her signature one more time.
First of all, as the mayor, my electronic signature is on every check. I don't see the checks. I don't physically sign the checks. If you'll notice on that check that you have, there is another signature, a physical signature on there, and it's probably our finance director.
They both look to be rubber stamped.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about the other one. I know that mine is an electronic signature.
Okay.
And I don't see the invoices prior to the check being written. I do see them as part of the Register of Demands, which comes before the council and is approved by the entire council.
So you did sign on these checks, though. That is your signature.
It's my electronic signature.
What's the difference?
Well, there's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Go ahead.
You know, I did not physically see the check. I did not physically sign it.
But that doesn't necessarily make the $250,000 mistake any better. That was another $250,000 mistake.
You wanted an answer as to why the signature was on there. I called simply to clarify.
Okay.
You can check with the other cities to see if their mayors have an electronic signature that is on pre-stamped on every single check that goes out of the city.
So you did not...
See if whether or not the other mayors whose signature is electronically placed on checks actually ever physically sign a check.
So you don't feel as though...
Then you can come back and talk to me about what we do in Desert Hot Springs.
So you don't feel as though you misled the Desert Sun in saying that you don't sign any of these checks, you don't oversee them?
I did not mislead them. I did not physically sign the check.
Well, I'm just not...
There's a difference between seeing a check and signing it, physically signing it, than not seeing the check and having your electronic signature placed on it as a matter of routine.
Okay, I just want to go back to your statement here for a second from the Desert Sun or mydesert.com with Kate McGinty last week.
I did not sign the check.
Okay.
My signature, maybe I should have gone one step further and said my electronic signature is on there. I did not physically sign the check.
Nor did you approve this.
And that's going to be the end of the discussion.
I'm sure you wish it were so, Mayor Parks, and it may be electronic signatures from the rest of the mayors around the valley. However, they don't seem to be handing out $250,000 to every con man that comes to town. This seems to be the great difference here, Mayor Parks, that some mayors are watching over their cities. Others are just rubber stamping the checks and hoping nobody else checks. That, Madam Mayor, happens to be my job. And I happen to be pretty good at it. I've caught you again. You make the mistakes and say you want to move on without changing a damn thing. And here I see in the Desert Sun today what appears to be a very good story about the Flamingo Hotel until I actually read it. And then I realize that I've actually got the check for $250,000 from the city of Desert Hot Springs to Mr. Buscoby, if that is his real name, signed by Yvonne Parks. But let's be clear here. She does not sign the checks!